What's up, MMA fans? It's Tudor Leonte from Sherdog here, and today I'm with UFC contender Eryk Anders. Hello, Eryk, and welcome back on Sherdog. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time. Where are you right now, and what are you doing?
I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, at the house, just kicking it, not doing much, to be honest.
What have you done since you competed at the UFC 263?
Man, just not really much. Just hanging around the wife and kids, just doing the dad thing, and you know, running the kids, here, there, and everywhere. So just enjoying the civilian life for right now.
A little bit of time of precious time with the family. It's always welcome, I believe.
Well, yeah, especially now because I've been gone for pretty much 5 out of these 6 months out in Arizona training, getting ready for these 2 fights. So haven't really been home much. So while I'm home, I want to be home and be present.
Yeah, sure. Is this the first time since, is this the first time you came back home?
Yeah, well, I fought in March. So in April, I was gone. January and February, fought in March, came home, and then left early April to go train again. So yeah, this is, the first time I've been home since then.
So listen, you recently settled things with Darren Stweart by outpointing your opponent in the octagon at UFC 263. Unlike in your first clash, you looked a little bit more cautious this time. In fighting, your opponent. How come?
Well, the game plan was to kind of weigh on him a little bit, make him tired, hold him up against the fence, and whenever I would get my opportunity to take advantage of it, I saw an opening in that first fight much sooner, and then this fight, it just happened to present itself in the 3rd round, which I kind of felt like it would. So, once we finally got on the ground, he just didn't have much left to fight to get back up. So, I'm always looking for a finish, always want to finish. So, kind of disappointed I didn't get a finish, but, the fight kind of went how I thought it would.
What adjustments you made after fighting him for the first time in April?
What adjustments did I make? I don't think there was really too many adjustments to make. The first fight went really well for me. Just I didn't finish the fight. Which this was kind of the same game plan going into the second fight. It every fight has a life and history of its own, so it's not always going to be the same just because you're fighting the same guy.
Did you feel any difference in Stewart's fighting style from your first clash?
Man, I thought he was much stronger at middleweight. I don't know. Oh, excuse me.
No worries.
I don't know like how much bigger or smaller he was at either weight class, but man, he just he felt way stronger at middleweight.
And speaking of weight classes, how come your fight was scheduled at 205?
He wanted to fight at 205. I had initially signed the contract to fight at middleweight, but he wasn't really interested in doing that. So he came back and said he wanted to fight at light heavyweight. So it's whatever for me.
And will you stay at light heavyweight?
At middleweight, I prefer to fight at middleweight. I enjoy. No one really enjoys cutting weight, but man, I just feel more dialed in and prepared for a fight when I fight at middleweight. So, I'll fight at 205, but middleweight is, I think, my weight class.
And right now, what's next for you? I mean, you just said that you will probably return to middleweight, but do you have, someone in mind, a particular name in mind, a particular date, perhaps, for your return?
Yeah, I think I'd like to fight in late October, early November. And last year I was supposed to fight Antonio Arroyo. Got made it to the scale, but didn't make it to the fight the next day. So, that one's been weighing on me pretty heavy. So I'd like to fight him in October or November if I could.
How was, after you fought for the first time with live in front of a live audience after the COVID-19 outbreak, how was it, to have again fans in the arena?
Man, it's great, especially fighting in Arizona where I've been training, pretty much, this whole year. Man, they were rowdy. They were, there's just nothing like the energy that the crowd brings for a fight. So if you weren't ready to fight when you hear that crowd scream, then, it gets you ready.
But the fight, the audience was a little bit hard that night. I don't know, they were, even during your first round, were kind of booing, did you hear them while you were fighting?
Yeah. You can hear all that. But at the end of the day, by the end of the fight, they were cheering. So, like I said, I just had to wear them down, get them tired a little bit, and, hunt for that finish at the end.
Do you believe that one day fans will accept the fact that the wrestling phases are like really important for an MMA fighter and in general for an MMA match?
I don't think that they were really booing wrestling. I think they were just booing the inactivity, especially with the way that first fight with us went. I think that that's what they were expecting for 3 rounds. So, I think they had their mouth ready for, the violence that I typically bring to a fight. But, like I said, this fight was just a little bit different. So they had to let him wait for a little bit.
Sir, before I let you go, have you watched the UFC 263 main event?
Oh, yeah, man. The cool thing about the sport is you can go from fighter to fan in the same night. So after I fought, I went and sat in the stands, had a beer, had some drinks, and, watched the rest of the card from the stands.
I'd like to ask, since you're fighting at middleweight, I'd like to ask your opinion on the main event, the fight between Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori.
I thought it was a good fight. I think both those guys' game plans were, good. And but I just think that Adesanya is, just a cut above everybody right now. So I think, obviously he's a champ, so he's the guy to beat. So yeah, I think Marvin tried to do the right thing and wrestle him, but I think the days of taking a guy down and laying on him and not doing any damage are over with. They're not rewarding the guys with winning the round for holding him down and doing no damage. So it's not enough to just take him down and hold him down. You have to do damage when you're down there, it seems like.
This is a question that I already asked at some other middleweight. Do you see someone in particular right now that can defeat Israel Adesanya, considering his performances at middleweight?
Well, I don't think anybody's even gotten close outside of Gastelum. Off the top of my head, nah, I don't. Even when you take him down, he pops right back up. He's not a guy who just lays there. And he's got the longest reach, so he controls the distance for the most part in the division. So I think that's what the difficulty with striking with that guy is you have to cover so much ground and distance. And man, he's just a master at controlling the range. So that seems to be the riddle that needs to be solved.
Sir, do you have any last message?
No, man, just thank you guys for the love and support, and can't wait to get back in there.
Sir, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations for your victory once again, and hopefully I'll hear again from you in the future.
I appreciate it, brother.
Have a nice day. Goodbye.